Hey, Joyful family, I'm Devina Janae, and welcome back to my channel where I post weekly content videos sharing my wellness journey. My goal here is to create a safe space and to help motivate others on their journey. So today I have the Aundrea Wright back again with another
Hi.
video. And if
Hi,
you
joyful family.
hi. So guys, if you're not already following her, make sure you do. She has a YouTube channel as well. So I will link everything down in the description bar and I will link her channel in the cards as well. So today we're going to kind of piggyback from our initial chat on her platform. And we're going to kind of talk about being diagnosed with PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome and how it has changed our life so far. So we've both been diagnosed for about how long have you been diagnosed for? Has it been over a year or?
I've been diagnosed since 2016.
Oh, well, so yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah, since 2016, but it actually started happening like at probably like the end of 2012. Because I had went through like a super bad like breakup. And so like after all of that, like out of nowhere, it was like I just put this weight on. And I actually went to the doctor then, but they didn't diagnose me with it. They were just like talking to me about it. But then when I finally went, because I was continuing to have issues, when I finally went like again in 2016 was when like my doctor gave me the actual diagnosis. And it was just crazy because it was like, I have been going to my doctor, like I had been going to the OBGYN, and it was like the OBGYN was just carrying on a conversation with me about it. And then my doctor, I'm like telling my doctor what they're saying. And it's just like, okay, so this has now been from 2012 to 2016 and nobody has picked up any diagnosis and you've been doing tests. Like, can you make it make sense? So it honestly probably have been for longer than that because I was having issues like when I was in school, when I started my cycle was never regular, but they told me, but it was because I was so active. Like I ran track, like I played basketball like for a couple of years when I was younger. I cheered. So they were like, you know, you're so active, your body is so active, like it'll throw it off. So it was like, okay, like that's fine. But then as I got out of school, it was like, of course, I became less active. And it was just like, okay, now I'm really not on track and I really don't know what's going on. But it's like, okay, like again, I was like, who cares? Who really wants to have cycles anyway? To be 1,000% honest, I'm like, they're painful. They're like were super excruciating. So I was just like, who wants that anyway? Like, so forget it. But it was when I put on all the weight. I literally went, guys, and of course, go back and check out the video, like she said, on my platform. But I literally went from weighing 120 pounds to it was 140 or 150. Yeah, because I gained 30. It was 150 pounds in the course of 3 months.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what is going on? Like my eating habit hasn't changed. Like none of that has changed. So what just happened, you know? And so that was just kind of like the start of it for me. So once I got the diagnosis, like a lot of people, I guess normally like when they get a diagnosis, like it freaks them out. I was the opposite. I'm really big on faith. So once I had gotten the diagnosis, I was like, okay, like you've just given me something to pray towards. Like you've given me a name to pray away. Like now I know exactly what this is, so I can address it head on. And now I can do some research. I can look some stuff up. I can see, you know, what is best for me to do. So it didn't really play the same effect on me as it typically does on others, because with me, it's like, I've been trying to figure out for years what is going on. And it was just like, I had finally gotten an answer. So
it was like an aha moment, as Oprah said.
Yeah. So it was just like, you know, this is perfect. Like now I'll be like, I'm bringing this to you. Like, you know, like you said, by your stripes, I'm healed. So it's already done. I just have to walk in it. So I'm like, okay, like it's going to happen. But you also, like you stated on my last video that we just did, like you stated, you still have to do the work, and you do.
Exactly.
Like I wasn't doing the work at first, and I'm doing the work now. I've been soul searching and all of that. So it's helped.
And I feel like I had a similar experience. I'm not even 1 year with my diagnosis. So I went to the doctor last June of 2020. And then by the beginning of July, I finally had an official diagnosis. So with me, I was pretty regular up until maybe my sophomore year in high school. And the only thing I could think that had switched during that time was I wasn't as active. So that slowed down. And of course, as teenagers, we were eating like crap. So I had more freedom. So I was just eating. I was able to go to places after school. I had my little extra money to the side, and I was working. So I was like, ooh, Chinese food, ooh, Chick-fil-A, ooh, this and that. So I know that I was not eating
everything
healthy.
That's not good for me when you have PCOS, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So all those things. So I was gaining weight little by little. But it really, so I remember going to the doctor, mom taking me and like, hey, what's going on with her cycle? And it was like, well, everything's normal. Like nothing is.
Yeah.
So we'll just put her on birth control. So I started birth control about 14 going
I
on
tried
15.
a birth control too. I tried a birth control too, but I stopped because they said that after I stopped taking the birth control, it was supposed to continue to regulate me, and it never did. So I was like, at this point, I just feel like I'm putting medications into my body and I'm not regular. So
and I feel like
it's going to be for me to
stop. Everyone is so different. It's like, it works on different people, and like the doctors don't really know. They're taking educated guesses. They're scientists at the end of the day. So yes, and they work for a vast amount of people, but it's still also a good amount of people that it don't work for, or not. It's not a forever thing.
Yeah.
So
it's like this natural vitamin. Once I find the name of it, I'll definitely share so we can share with our audience. But once I'll have to find it, because it's like a natural vitamin, and it's supposed to like it helps with your cycle. So I think I am going to try that next, because my cycle still hasn't changed. However, like they did say that like with losing the weight with PCOS, like you should start to see it like come back. So I'm also trying to like give it that too, because normally like no matter what, the week that I start working out, my cycle will come. Like literally, it has never failed. Like if I have stopped for a period of time, when I start working out again, like my cycle will normally come. So I've been trying to like go off of that, of course, because like, I mean, and of course I honestly don't have anything to worry about. But it's just like, just trying to get my body back to that place, because, I do eventually want to have children and things of that nature. So I would say that was the biggest thing that like, was like, for me, when they were like, with having PCOS, like it made me hard for you to conceive. And I'm like, what?
And my whole thing was like,
so you're telling me what like Abba Yah created me to do, it's gonna be harder because of this. Oh no, it's gotta go. Like there's
a few factors, because there's so many people. We could talk about this one day. We have so many things to talk about, but we can also talk about like infertility and stuff like that, and how environmental factors or things that our parents have done unknowingly that can cause it.
Absolutely.
So many different factors.
Talk about
it. But the first thing that you do is tell a teenager to get on birth control. It's just like, that's like, we don't know the lasting effects of that. So that was my
and nobody does. Like that's the thing. Nobody ever really knows the long lasting effects, but they want to push it on you.
And we were like the generation that it was like our parents, well, at least with mine, I have a young mom, so my mom is only like 16 years older than me. So like with her generation and ours, it was like birth control, birth control, birth control. Like they just pushed that on us. And it's like, now we're seeing like the effects of it. So to kind of speed up this
so that was kind
story.
of like the same with me too. My mom was on it, and then she was like, yeah, that was the only thing that shortened my cycles. That was the only thing that like helped my cycles, because like I'm also throughout this entire thing breaking generational curses. Let's just say that and get that out there, because at the end of the day, like every woman like on my mom's side of the family has had a hysterectomy. Like,
wow, right.
Everyone. So I'm like, no. No, like it stops with me. Like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm gonna be able to, like, I'm just really, and then like Abiyah also like speaks to me through dreams. So he had shown me my children. So I was like, I already know I'm gonna have children. So basically forget all of that you're saying. Again, you're giving me something to pray towards. So like, just, I'm happy that we're gonna do like Mindset May, because that this is imperative. Like,
and it's all about that. So I was on birth control for years for over, that was like 16, over 10 years on birth control.
Wow.
By the time I hit college, by the time I was in my sophomore year in college, I switched to Depo, and still, so basically the birth control kind of did regulate my cycle for some time, and then it stopped altogether. And then the doctors told me, okay, well, that's normal after you've been on it for so long. And at that time, I was going to like a free clinic type of situation. So then I switched to Depo my sophomore year in college, and that was terrible. I had like all the bad side effects that you can name. The worst one was like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. I started getting, and it was just like a bad year. So I stopped that. Then I took maybe a year off of birth control, and then I hopped back on, and then I could never get right. I was back on the pill. I could never get it like me remembering to take it on time. It was like an on and off thing. But by that time, I had got my grown up doctor that I was paying, because I had my real job, my first grown up job, and I remember getting tested, and I think this was back maybe 2012, 2013. I think it was 2012. I went to my new doctor, and he was like, well, I told him about my history, and he was like, well, it is abnormal for you not to have cycles, so let's do an ultrasound. So I think he did blood work, he did an ultrasound, and there were no stubs. He said everything looks fine. It's your weight. You probably just need to lose more weight. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you don't know how many times I've tried.
That's what I'm saying. Same. I was like, you don't get that I'm trying.
Exactly. And when you keep doing stuff for so long and it's like with fail, it's like, what else am I?
What else is there for me to do? Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm not doing anything. Yes, I could be eating better, but still, I barely eat. So that was
right.
Me
thing. Like,
too.
I didn't
have an appetite.
That was the
thing.
I
would wait
I barely
until
ate.
like 2:00, and I'm just eating my first meal, and it's like that's not healthy either. So it's like,
because they told me that when I was doing that my body was going into starvation mode. They were like, you're starving
so
yourself.
It's not going to lose.
And I was like, I'm not starving myself though. And he was like, no, your body thinks that you are. He was like, because literally like you're going these hours without eating, and then you eat, and then you go these drastic hours again without eating. And he was like, so your body doesn't know when you're going to feed it again. And he was like, so it's holding
fasting thing, because intermittent fasting is not for everybody. Let me just say that, especially when you're someone who doesn't have a routine schedule when you eat anyway. So what that is just going to keep your body doing the same thing that it's been doing, if not worse. So fast forward to 2020, I got my old doctor. I loved him so much.
Yeah.
I miss him. But unfortunately, I wasn't officially diagnosed, because I had a new physician. I'm in the practice because he retired. And the first thing we met, the first 15 minutes, we talked about my history, that I probably had PCOS, that it's common in Black women, that she doesn't want to run the risk of me getting any type of cancer, because basically your lining is not shedding. So it's all these cells are just hibernating up in there. Of course, she said it way better. But it's just, I was like, and all this time, all these years, I'm like living it up, like, woo, no period. But like, no, that's not healthy. That's not
exactly.
It's not normal. I'm just living the best. Like your friends, like, oh, I got something, like, girl, and I would still have like some PMS symptoms, but I would never.
Babe,
I would get them
I
maybe
wasn't having
four
any.
times
I
a
went
month.
years.
I mean, 4 times a year. I would get them like maybe
I
four
went
times a year.
years, Devina, without having any. Years.
And it's
Okay.
crazy. And
You
it's
talking
like,
about
this
living
is
your
not,
best life. I'm like, oh, y'all want to go to
girl,
the pool? Oh, y'all want to go to the beach? Oh, y'all want to go do this? Y'all want to do that?
right.
Okay, let's go.
So,
and they like, girl, like you're never. And I'm like, no, I don't have my periods.
and it's
Look,
like, what?
proud. I
That's
don't have them.
crazy.
I
And you
don't
see
have
all
my
your
cycles.
friends or people getting, and everything happens for a reason. Because who knows? I probably would. I mean, I don't know if I would have had like 10 kids by now. I mean, I wasn't out there.
Yeah.
And I always had like a boyfriend, but it's like, yo, like who would have known what how much my life would have changed if like all this was taken care of earlier in life. Like, so it's a blessing and a curse that it happened the way it is. And now I'm like old enough and in a different place in my life. So once I got the official diagnosis, she took ultrasound, we did blood work, and basically based on my blood work, that was the thing. She said, it's a glucose, sugar intolerance. Yeah. So basically it is heavily related to what you're eating. So because I'm also borderline diabetic. So in my case,
they told me I was borderline pre-diabetic when I went.
Yeah. So basically I already knew that I was trying to lose weight for years, right? Because I've gained this weight slowly but surely with this diagnosis, and especially when I was on Depo, because Depo can cause you to gain a lot of weight as well. So I've been staying at this certain weight for years now. Like
I was like that too. It was like I hit a plateau. I was like, I'm back and forth between 155 and 160. Like it's like I'm back and forth between them. And I'm like, what is going on? And like I said, like it wasn't until like I shifted my mental and all of that just kind of like all literally fell into play. And then it was like the weight just started falling off, like the body discipline, like all of that, like sticking to me, sticking to me drinking my gallon of water a day, sticking to me making sure like my mental health is good, like that, it's light, like it's airy in my space, like all of that like plays a huge part, a huge part.
Trying not to take the shortcut, because I know for me, my first thing they told me to do was take medicine. So I took metformin and that didn't work. I mean, it worked. So I was on metformin for about 2 months. And then around the 2-month mark is when I finally did start getting my cycles. But unfortunately, the medicine that I was taking was recalled. And so I decided at the point that I was going to take a step back. And since then, I've only had 1 cycle, the beginning of this year. So I've only had 3 cycles within the past year. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this holistically. I need to I really need to be more serious and take a serious step and not just try things out for a month or a month or 2. Like it takes time,
but be consistent.
To be consistent and to break like these patterns that you're used to doing, and also to bring your body out of something that you've been doing. It's just more than just the mental, like your physical is also used. It's like kind of in your DNA. So until you change these things actively, it's like, so that's what I've been doing. That's what my channel has now pivoted to. I used to do beauty and like lifestyle type of content. And now it's like, I was trying to figure out what I was. And I feel like my purpose is to like talk to other people, help motivate other people on their wellness journey. So here I'm talking about
because it's important. Like it's not enough people rooting people on. Like, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Like it's not enough people rooting people on. And like I always say, support is free. Like you could simply share a post.
Post, like a video, comment.
Share a post, like the post, comment. Save it. Like, even if you're not going to go back and look at it, it takes nothing for you to just click the buttons, but it's like support isn't being genuinely given out here. And it's like, you'll get around these people that are making it seem like, oh yeah, like this is what, I'm going to do. And this is how it's going to be. And then they don't. And then you feel defeated, which takes a huge toll on your mental. So now everything else is just about to start like picking back up. Like you're dwindling down and everything is about to start picking back up. So it's like, you have to make sure that everything is in alignment, like that, that
Exactly.
you're
So
trusting your faith, like, and you're doing the work behind it.
exactly. It's so important to have some type of faith. I'm not here to tell you who
Yeah,
you should believe in, but faith or spirituality, finding
absolutely.
zen within yourself, meditate, pray on things, journal it,
Yes.
whatever you got to do, and eliminating
Whatever makes your
people
soul
or
happy,
toxic
literally.
environment. Exactly. Finding your joy. What brings you balance, harmony, peace,
Yeah.
happiness, love. You need to surround yourself
Love,
with that. And then you just need to do your work.
clarity,
Find
knowledge,
out, right.
like,
Find out what you need to do, literally, and then start doing it because you
and
can
start
always
doing
make
it and then
excuses.
remain consistent.
Yes. And it's hard. It's definitely easier said than done. It
Yeah,
takes some mindset shifting, and we're going to talk about that
absolutely.
next month. For me, it took mindset
Absolutely.
shifting and actually creating more structure. So this month and
Yeah,
next month, I'm
planning,
just all about,
organizing.
right. I'm all about planning and organizing for mental health. So that's like on Mondays, you'll see that on my channel. And
Yep.
then we're going to talk about that and dive
So
deeper
we're
into
gonna
that
do Mental
next
Health
month.
May. Like, that's what we should just call it, Mental Health May.
Yeah. Yep.
Since I'm doing
So,
mindset and Mental Health
yep.
May. Yep. I
So
think that'll
we're
be good.
diving deeper into on her
We
channel,
are,
on Aundrea's channel.
guys.
We'll talk about mindset shifting. And on my channel, we'll talk about how to create more structure, to create balance and harmony in your life. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper on this. But I feel like it's good to kind of discuss with someone else about PCOS and how like the diagnosis
Absolutely.
has
Because it's a
changed
lot of
you.
people, like, a lot of people have been contacting me like, oh my gosh, like, I've been diagnosed with that too. Like, I'm
Right,
glad that you started doing
exactly.
this, because, like, I didn't think that, this was something that anyone else really knew much about. Like, I've been having to figure it out on my own. So I've been getting a lot of reach outs.
Good.
So it's a beautiful thing that we're doing. Like, people are definitely noticing and they're definitely feeling comfortable to reach out. Like, a couple people have shared like vitamins with us, and I've passed them on to Devina. So if that's something that like you're interested in, just shoot me a DM. Like, I'll definitely like share that information with you, because it's literally us. Like, yes, we're collaborating, but it's more than a collaboration. Like, we're building a community together of women who have been diagnosed with this, to let you know like, our process through the journey and how it's been and how everything has worked out, and like what we're changing, what we're like going to keep the same, all of those things are things that we're discussing, but everything plays a major part.
Right. And it's a journey. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a quick fix. There's no quick fixes in any of this. So
we've been working at this for years. I've been diagnosed since 2016, and I'm just now losing weight, and this is 2021.
Right. So that just shows you guys, like, it takes time. It really does. And only now I feel like I'm ready, because I've been on this weight loss journey for so long.
Yeah.
So it's like only now I'm like, it literally affects like my day to day. If I eat something bad, I feel crazy.
Yes.
I feel
crafty.
Gosh. So I'm like, too. I can't go on like this. I don't want to feel like I don't want to say an old lady, but like a sickly old person when I'm 30. Like, this is supposed to be like my prime. Like, I still got some good
prime. Years. Hello.
So it's like I need to get myself together so I can enjoy life and then have children and enjoy it. I don't want to be a burden to them. I want to be able to, the things that I can control, I want to be able to fix those things and do the best that I can. So
absolutely. And I'll say this for the last thing, like the last tip that I do have is cut out dairy, guys. Just try it. Okay. Just try it. I'm telling you, like, I do have a skincare routine that like I am sharing on my platform. However, it is like very simple, but I think what has shifted a lot with my weight and a lot with like my face, because with PCOS, you have like different side effects. Like, some people gain weight, some people become like just very like hairy. Some people like it's because it's more, what is it? Estrogen? Like,
yeah.
Isn't it estrogen like the hormone that's mainly in men? Like, it's like higher.
Testosterone.
Testosterone, yeah.
Yeah. I think we have estrogen.
We have estrogen. They have testosterone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So testosterone.
I'll put it on the screen too.
Yeah, because listen, I'm all messed up. All right. But it's that we have more of what the males have, like when you have PCOS. Right. So like I never really broke out like that before, but I'll like break out. Like I have breakouts right here now. But when I cut out dairy, guys, like I'm telling you, I saw a major shift within my skin, like a major shift within my skin, right. A major shift within like the way that my body feels as a whole. So we'll definitely have to get into like, you know, eating habits and stuff, but we're doing a lot of collaborations. So like, I'm sure we'll get into all of it. So yes. I just had to share that as that last tip because
that's very important. You need to really take a look. I was just watching Myleik on her live, and she does lives like, and I love her, but she was just talking about paying attention, not just about PCOS. She wasn't talking about PCOS, but just people were talking about the vaccines. Yeah. And we know what vaccine we're talking about. And I'm probably going to get mine soon, but it's like people were worried about the side effects. And it's like, she's like, usually the side effects all have to do with the food, the different things that you eat, because we don't consume. She was just saying, I'm just going to give this quick little note and then we can end. But basically she was saying like she's going to share some books and stuff that she read and just do your own research. She said it's not all about, you know, just about the dairy and then like the meat, because some people, vegans are like, don't eat this, don't eat. It's not about that. It's about how it's made, where it's coming from, and all that, as well as we're not getting enough fruits and vegetables. She said if you look in the market, it might be like 12 to 20 vegetables, but it's like thousands of variations. So we're not getting enough nutrients from the work, you know, that we need in order to live a better and have a more sustainable body. So it's really all about food science, and it's paying attention to the stuff, eliminating sugar, eliminating so many carbs, because carbs turn into sugar, and like just do it day by. It takes, you know, it's baby steps. It takes time. Like, I'm not a cold turkey girl, so I can't just eliminate something overnight. Like it's going to take some time. So if you have to start with eliminating sugar, like soda, then eliminating juice, and then only making tea, and then only adding a little bit of sweetener, and then going to not having any at all. Like
I use natural sweetener, so I use honey. Yeah,
right. And you know, and try to stay away from like the fake sugar, because even though it says like no sugar, there might be added, it might be like that other stuff. It's not that good, that man-made chemical stuff. So guys, it takes mindset, faith, and then structure, doing the work on research. And then doing the work on your diet and your health.
Absolutely.
It's a whole, like, it's a pyramid just for this. So
absolutely, just for this alone.
So that's all. I think we covered a lot.
Yes, we covered a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in with us.
Yes, we'll be back on. So if you're watching this the day that it goes live, we'll be live on Instagram at 6 p.m. Eastern. So head over to our Instagram as well. I will have them on the screen, and I'll also link them down in the description. Make sure you follow Aundrea Wright on Instagram and on YouTube. Both will be in the description. And make sure you are taking time out today and each and every day to find your joy. We'll see you next month. So until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.